It was 5:30 in the morning when Amina woke up to the sound of a loud knock on her bedroom door. "Amina, wake up. We have an important day today," her mother-in-law yelled. Amina slowly sat up. Her body hurt after what she had done the previous day. She had cleaned the kitchen for hours and reorganized the dining area, but nobody had thanked her. As she came out of the room, still tying her wrapper, her sister-in-law Lydia went by her with a grin. "They're all waiting for you downstairs," Lydia said. 40 guests, better not keep them hungry." Amina's heart fell. She had only been married to Michael for 7 months, and since they had moved in with his family, everything had been different. Initially, they were courteous, but now they hardly spoke to her except when they wanted something. Michael had also ceased defending her. He would always say, "Just do what they say, please. I don't want trouble." Amina entered the kitchen and halted. Not a single hand had been raised to assist. Pots filled every corner, raw chicken, yams, vegetables, fish. Even the water drum was close to being depleted. "Is no one assisting me?" she inquired quietly. Her mother-in-law appeared, arms folded. "This is your responsibility. You wish to be a good wife, then behave like one. In my family, our women aren't pampered. They serve." Amina bit her tongue. She wanted to scream but didn't. Not yet. She arrived at work. She peeled, washed, boiled. She cut her finger but bandaged it fast. Sweat trickled down her back. No one came to give her water, no one to assist her. When she went out to catch her breath, she could hear laughter coming from the living room. Her husband was there, making jokes with his cousins. He didn't even glance her direction. By lunchtime, her garments were dripping with sweat. Her feet hurt, her hands trembled and were red. Still, nobody said a thank you. When she shouted, "The food is ready," they just got up and sat on the long table. And that was when Amina made up her mind. She glanced at the plates before her. She glanced at the people who had made her feel like a servant in her own marriage. They believed they had crushed her, but they were mistaken. She smiled to herself silently because today she wasn't just serving dishes. She was serving something else, something they would never forget. Amina had a great life before she got married to Michael. She was a marketing executive at a small but expanding firm. Her boss held her in high regard, and her suggestions tended to attract new customers. She owned an apartment, a small vehicle, and friends who treated her like family. Amina was happy with the life she had created for herself. She wasn't wealthy, but she was at peace. Then she met Michael. He was charming, funny, and nice, or at least that's what he was like initially. He was always going on about family values and mentioned he wanted a strong but respectful wife. "You're different, Amina. You're the kind of woman I want to grow old with," he told her. She trusted him. They were wed in a beautiful yet simple wedding. Amina believed that this was the start of a happy life together. But the happiness was not sustained. 2 weeks after the wedding, Michael informed her that they would be living in his family home for a while. His mother had issues with her health, and he explained that she required assistance with chores in the house. Amina did not like the plan, but she went along. She wished to stand by her husband. That was where her pain in silence began. Michael's family resided in a big suburban house. Peaceful was the face it presented from the outside, but within its walls there was a plethora of rules and expectations. Michael's mother, Grace, was the household queen. Without her permission, nothing could happen. She did not have to go out to work, but she controlled the family with an iron fist. She didn't like Amina from day one. "You women who work and gossip too much. You're not true wives," she once told her face. Michael's sister, Lydia, was worse. She was 25 years old and still living with her parents. She hardly cooked or did the dishes, but always treated Amina as if she were inferior. "You were lucky my brother chose you," she'd say as she scrolled through her phone. "Most girls like you remain unmarried forever." Amina remained silent. She did her best to appease them. She cooked, she cleaned, she quit her job. She explained to her previous boss that she required some time for family reasons. Initially, she wished it was short-term, but months went by and there was no mention of departure. Michael also changed. He initially consoled her. "Just ignore them, they'll come around," he'd tell her, but gradually he ceased to take notice. He returned late at night. He spent more time with his friends and cousins than with her. He didn't assist her with household tasks or defend her when his relatives ill-treated her. One evening, Amina attempted to speak to him. "Michael, I feel like I don't exist in this house. I need you to support me." He sighed and said, "You're making too much drama. Just be patient." That sentence stayed with her. Be patient. She had been patient for 7 months. She had given up her job, her friends, her freedom. She had become a shadow in her own life. Her parents lived in another city. They had warned her before the wedding. "Make sure his family respects you," her mother had said, but Amina had dismissed it. She had believed that love was all that mattered. Now she didn't even know if Michael loved her anymore. The worst part wasn't the cleaning or the put-downs. It was the loneliness. Even when there were crowds of people in the house, Amina felt invisible. Nobody asked her how she was doing. Nobody said thank you. Nobody was concerned if she was exhausted, ill, or upset. She began waking up early just to experience 10 minutes of quietude before the house burst into activity. She'd stand at the window in the kitchen with a cup of tea, observing the sky turn colors. In those short moments, she recalled the person she once was. She longed for her former self, the self-assured woman who said what she meant, who had ideas and aspirations, who laughed freely. Nowadays, she barely laughed anymore. There was this one tiny notebook she had kept under her pillow. It was her secret place. In it, she penned letters to herself, letters with so many questions. Why did you give up so much? Why does no one see your pain? Where did your voice go? She didn't know the answers yet, but writing did help. That morning, when they demanded that she cook for 40 guests all by herself, something was different. As she stood in the sweltering kitchen, cutting, stirring, hoisting heavy pots, her mind was active. Her heart was weary, but her spirit was coming to life. She was no longer angry. She was finished waiting for somebody to rescue her. Something had changed within her. She was not simply going to get through the day. She was going to take herself back, her own silent way, on her own terms. And it was going to start with lunch.